Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a shocking update in the Bachelor Clayton Echard v. Jane Doe, now known as Laura Owens, trial. As we know, on June 10th, Clayton went to court in an evidentiary hearing with Laura Owens to decide who's going to pay the bill for this crazy paternity/non-paternity, never was a paternity, never was a baby, let alone twins, court case. The judge ruled several weeks later that Laura Owens was liable to pay the bill, which came out to around $150,000. She, of course, is planning to appeal, so says her high-powered, no-nonsense, can't get any other work attorney. And meanwhile, she also claims the judge needs to be replaced, and they've filed paperwork for that to happen. We'll see what the presiding judge has to say. But now, adjacent to that story, we have a story about the government investigating Laura Owens. For what? Well, I'm going to share exactly what they said. We can speculate, as we do on the internet, for those of us who make YouTube videos because we don't have a better thing to do. I made sure I put the baby to sleep. He's sleeping nestled in his bassinet, and we are here to deliver the news, the news as well. I'm going to deliver the news with the news as we get into this wild, wild story of Laura Owens, podcaster, under investigation. If you haven't been caught up, there are so many other stories, both Bachelor adjacent and other pop culture and entertainment news. I'm going to just take this second to let you know, on the Rush Hour podcast today, we have former Bachelorette contestant arrested in a crazy story. If you want that, it's on the Morning Rush. And we've also been covering every morning and afternoon on the Rush Hour podcast our teachers' wish list, our teachers of the day. This morning, we have Giselle Martinez from Simi Valley. We're asking our audience, if you can and want to continue paying it forward with generosity, to donate to these teacher wish lists. You can buy anything from as little as like a $5, a Dr. Doolittle book or whatever the hell they got, Dr. Seuss, I don't know, motivational posters, things that help the classroom. Do some good out there is what we're trying to do. And we've got 25 amazing teachers in our community. You might be one of them, and we're sharing that news on the Rush Hour. I'll post a link in the description below. Let's get into this story. Absolutely wild that we found this out. I'm telling you, I don't know one attorney, I'm waving my finger at you guys in the audience, I don't know one attorney who told me, oh, they'll prosecute perjury. Everybody said they're not going to prosecute. She can lie all day. They're not going to prosecute. Well, they haven't prosecuted yet. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office made an official tweet here explaining what the hell is going on. We have received a number of inquiries from the public concerning the matter involving Laura Owens. I got to clean my eyes out. Is this really happening? Here is the updated status. I mean, if they want, they could send us daily updates. If Maricopa County wants to just email me their update, I'll make a video as you guys know, I will clear my schedule. Here is the updated status. Upon receiving the minute entry from the Superior Court judge, this office began an investigation into the matter. So as we know, Judge Mata not only ruled in favor of Clayton Echard in almost every single count. I think she ruled that she didn't have the jurisdiction to cover his costs for a separate side account, one of the other restraining accounts that court cases that was happening. But either way, it was essentially a bloodbath, metaphorically speaking. Okay, it was all green lights for Clayton Echard the whole way through. This judge ruled not only in favor of Clayton, but said, I'm going to send this up to the county prosecutors to look into. Now, the county processors could say, hey, I got a stack of papers a mile high. This just isn't it. We're trying to pursue big fraud on banks and this and that. But I'm telling you this right now. Here's what I'm telling you guys. Here's why this is important, okay? It's 2024. Artificial intelligence is out of control. The ability to just go to Adobe Acrobat and adjust paperwork. I mean, we looked into fraud that Laura Owens committed and admitted to, okay? And by that, I mean the HCG test. She admitted to that, All right. And you know what? I'll pull it up. I didn't have it prepared. I'll pull it up for you guys right here. And I'm telling you right now, it's one thing to figure out fraud as it's related to, somebody photoshopping something. You can look into that and you can call that out. But when you get into the new technology that exists, it's virtually impossible to know the difference because the computer systems are taking whatever font you had, they're replicating it perfectly. So the only way to know that fraud's being committed is if you literally have evidence from that person that it was committed, or if they say formatted it wrong because they didn't include the last name first and the first name last. So I'm going to pull this up for you guys right now. I've got this insane lie, she told me, an insane lie. And I'm telling you this right now, when we looked into it, we could not verify that this was photoshopped, because the more you look into it, the closer you get, it lines up. You don't see any sort of, now the only issue is it didn't line up up here where it was supposed to. So we were still able to figure out that it was fraud. Plus she also admitted to making this up. But the point, what I'm saying is, we need to have these cases prosecuted. We need our prosecutors to cross their T's and dot their I's, because people will get away with atrocity. They truly will in the upcoming world we're about to live in. We need more funding for more judges and more investigators and more prosecutors, not to pick on the wrong guy, but to make sure we are orderly out there. And is it true? I knew this before getting into this case that, they never pursue perjury. We knew it. They never, they don't follow through on subpoenas. They don't pursue perjury. These are kind of like knick-knacky, tick-tacky, gave a dog a bone. This is not a big deal. It needs to be. It needs to be a big deal. Now, does that mean Laura gets sent away for 30 years? No, I don't think so. But how damning if the news picked up a perp walk, her handcuffed, as she's serving time. Now, my guess is she won't serve time. That's my guess. But if she does, it'll be 30 days or whatever. But what's more important than that, and by the way, this is a favor to Laura Owens, is that she hits rock bottom. And you can't hit rock bottom until you stop digging. And because of the sort of enabling that she has with her attorney, she doesn't stop herself from digging. She truly has not admitted any wrongs whatsoever. She's got Mike, Greg, Clayton, and possibly Sean the contractor, and Matt the guy that doesn't want to be public. All of these different men have, in one way or another, sacrificed some of their God-given moments in life, some several years. Some have lost out on jobs they will never recuperate the money from. They've lost out on opportunity. They've got families. They've got daughters and sons and moms, and they've got dads. And I know it's a big deal to them because they have hugged me. I've been so fortunate to have my eyes opened up to the harm that has been caused to these men, but fortunate because I've been able to see the people that have come together to rally around these people, the fathers that bear hug me when they say, thank you so much for the work you've done. And I'm not saying that to take a victory lap. That's you guys. I couldn't have continued to make these videos if you guys didn't continue to watch, like, join the Patreon, do all the things that enable a single content creator like me to have the bandwidth to pursue it. And then as the others come along, the Megan Foxes, the Umbrella Guy, obviously Reality Steve, the Flock, the Reddit, the Twitter, I can't possibly, everyone from our Dana, running to the courthouse to get us the information, every single person that wrote in from across the United States, from Maricopa County, from North America and Canada, people have written in from Europe. When you get a handwritten note that has multiple countries stamped on it as it's sent to your office, let me tell you, that is so loud. And they heard you. They heard you. So then they continue to say here, because of the volume of information, any investigation done correctly is going to take time. We are working diligently to review the materials and will release results when it is appropriate to do so. Megan Fox commented, "Thank you so much for the update. We know your office has a lot going on, and we want to make sure you have all the info you need because this case spans 10 years and the info is deep. It might seem insignificant, but the lives of 3 men and several journalists and creators have been negatively impacted by Laura Owens' criminal behavior and her lawyer's legal extortion attempts. Thank you for the update. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything." That's where I stand with this. I stand with look, I'm happy they're investigating it. I'm so confident. Like I said to our friend, the Tilted Grind, the Tilted Lawyer, we love him, Omar, the Tilted Boner. As I've said to him, you don't need my help. You just start walking in a direction and you'll find the information you need. And I feel the same way when it comes to the county investigators. You don't need my help. With that said, I will answer the phone and I will quickly point you, go look over here, go look over there. That's not me fabricating evidence. That's evidence that already exists. The evidence of the ultrasounds that were fabricated, the Fiverr, we couldn't get in touch with Fiverr. They did not want to help us, but Fiverr clearly was timestamped on one of the ultrasounds. These are things I hope a county prosecutor's phone call goes answered to. And I hope that the ability for the county prosecutors to speed dial the police station, get those records, speed dial, like I said, Fiverr, and our friend in Texas who has had to deal with the atrocious crime of stealing her ultrasound. Those people have voices. They are so willing to talk, and they are so, I hope, on board for this investigation. Now, how does it start? Does it start with basic perjury? Is that what they're looking at? And then once they find one thing, do they then go into the other? And does it become a 2-year investigation? I truly don't know. I mean, will they go into the verified emails from Laura to Mike Maricini? The verified iMessages that have all been proven to be really sent from Laura? And will they look into her faking ovarian cancer, pretending to be doctors? That's stolen valor as far as I'm concerned. She didn't go through medical school. She didn't do all the work to become a doctor. No, she robbed their voice and used it to her own benefit. And God damn it, is that vile and atrocious. And there, hey, look, and I've said this before. I've said, come on, I don't want her to have to serve jail time. I personally don't believe in jail time, to be quiet. I don't believe that jail time changes people's behavior, but it might help people rally around her to get help and say, look, okay, wow, clearly the county prosecutor's looking into my daughter, and by the way, they might be looking into you too, Jan, okay? And they might be looking into you too, Jingry. I don't know. Anyone attached to her right now could be liable or an accomplice to some of these crimes for all we know. So we look at this and we go, oh my gosh, will this provide, and by the way, at some point, this is such a win for people like Clayton, Mike. Mike's the greatest example, right? He existed several years ago. He was accused of the most heinous of things that you can be accused of, which is a DV, right? He was accused of that in a TEDx talk that probably still exists. I mean, let's go right now. We already know that the TEDx, that her Chicken Soup for the Soul was removed from their digital copy. So let's go to TEDx Laura Owens and see if it's still up there. I mean, this is insane that they still have her story up here, which will be proved, in my opinion, to be fabricated for multiple reasons, some of which we've already shared. But Mike Maricini, he had to go try to get a job where his background check led to this. He had to convince people that he cared about in his life, his family, his friends, his lover. He had to convince them, I'm innocent of this, guys. And Mike Maricini, God bless Greg Gillespie, we love him. He fought Laura very stern, with a very stern manner, and he kind of fought her energy with tough energy. And Clayton did the same thing. Mike was helplessly trying to take care of Laura. He was trying to keep her from all of the crazy self-harm she was saying she was going to do. And he was just, I hate to call him a sucker, because I probably would have been the same guy. I see a lot of Mike's qualities in myself, which is like just a soft guy who doesn't want any hurt to come from somebody. But luckily for me, by the time her threats got to my desk, I had already seen all of the different ways in which she perpetrated this crime and this sort of mental health extortion. If you don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to just pull the cord on my life type of deal. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. So yesterday, after several weeks of quietness, we covered that she called the police on all three of the men after they were very lawfully subpoenaed and in court to deal with her. And she called the police because they made an Instagram reel about her. Well, as some have speculated, will she call the police on Maricopa County Attorney's Office for mentioning that they're investigating her? Now, if the Attorney's Office decides no crime was committed, I would be shocked. And also, we know crimes were committed. I mean, we see it with our plain eyes. So I don't see a way in which they don't prosecute her, considering they have her crimes just laid out right in front of us. It'll be interesting. I did want to go to Clayton Echard. He commented right away too. So let's go to Clayton Echard here. I didn't have this pulled up here. Clayton Echard, of course, the latest of her victims, and the reason why we're all here today, had something very important to say. He shared the update right here. He said, for those of you that have pushed tirelessly to have this looked into, the county attorney's office just released a statement that they are investigating this matter. Now we must be patient as they conduct their investigation, which will take time due to the surplus of information that they must sift through. I am grateful for their hard work and willingness to take a deeper look into this all. Now, and again, one of Laura Owens' sort of one of her MOs was to drain these guys financially. That's not going to happen with the county's investigators. They're paid for by the county, and the prosecutors voted on by the county. So is this something the prosecutor might be looking into to have a win to run on this fall with the election? Possibly. My thought, though, and again, I wouldn't hate them for that if that was the case, but my thought, though, is that they wanted to get this update out just because so many people are hitting them up saying, hey, what's going on? So they're now saying, all right, we're looking into it. We're investigating it. And I, by the way, can report, which something I don't think has been reported at all. I can report that people have been phone called. Okay? I can report that people have been interviewed in this process. I don't know if Laura's been interviewed. She's willing to let us know if she has been, but I know that they have enough information to point them in new directions. Maybe they haven't gotten to your boy Dave Neal yet. That's fine. I don't need to be a part of it as long as they get to the finish line, which shares all of the fraud, the deceit, the lying under oath, the lying to judges through private emails. And by the way, I mean, this is just what you get when you're not truthful, authentic, and live in the same reality as the rest of us. That's why we have this little balance here of justice. That's why this exists. We have this nice little balance right there, because we need to live in a society where we are treated fairly. And I'll just end on this. She got away with it for a while. But they do say that truth bends in the right direction, right? Messed that quote up, right? They do say that. And I do believe in that. And it took her flying a little too close to the sun, the metaphor we love to use for somebody who gets a little too greedy with their con. So she flew too close to the sun by submitting a fake story to the sun. And now we're getting to watch the descent back to reality. Let me know what you guys think. Any updates we get, whether they're public or through sources, I'll be covering. And if you want more content, come check out the podcast, The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. Link in the comment section if you want to donate to one of our teachers. We appreciate y'all so much. We'll be back with more content right after this.